Today I want to talk about going back to basics. Every cellist eventually reaches a point where things feel harder than they should, where shifts miss, tone feels uneven, intonation leans sharp or flat, bowing becomes inconsistent. The instinct in those moments is often to practice more or to move on to something new. But the solution is usually much more simple. Return to fundamentals, and specifically to open strings. Open strings remove variables. There's no left hand to manage, no shifting to adjust, no intonation to monitor. Attention becomes focused rather than divided. The bow becomes your only responsibility, which is important because tone begins in the bow. So if your sound feels inconsistent, open strings will reveal why. Is the contact point stable? Is bow speed even? Is the weight truly transferred into the string or just resting lightly on top? Does the sound start clean at the frog? This is why open strings are not remedial but diagnostic. Even though many advanced students avoid them because they seem too simple, simplicity is clarifying. And when the left hand is removed, it becomes obvious how much of tone production lives in the right arm. So I often recommend spending 5 minutes at the beginning of a practice session drawing slow, sustained bows on the open G string with the metronome set to 60, playing 4 clicks per bow, then 6, then 8, then 10, taking 1 or 2 down and up bows at each rhythm before moving on, then lowering the metronome to 50 or even 40 to increase the challenge. Because the slower the tempo, the more precise your bow control must be. While practicing, you observe whether the sound stays centered from frog to tip, and whether the bow travels on a clear path as if locked onto railroad tracks. If something later feels off in your repertoire, returning briefly to open strings can reset everything. Going back to basics is not a step backward, but refinement.